Right, sorry about that. Timestamps will be in the description starting from this one, question 1. So what's the first thing we need to do? Well, we need to write equals, and we need to take the coefficient of x squared out the front. So the coefficient of x squared is 2, so I'm going to put a 2, and then I'm going to put a big bracket. And then the first thing we want to do is make sure we've actually taken a 2 out of everything and we've done that correctly. So the way we're going to do that is just by making sure we divide each of these terms by 2. So half of 2x squared is x squared. Half of 4x is 2x. And half of 1 is a half. So that part there, if I now expanded this by timesing everything by 2, it's going to give me the original thing, which means that I've done this first part correctly. Then I'm going to complete the square on the inside. So remember how we do this. We want to open a bracket, write x. We want to take half of this number. So half of 2 is 1, so plus 1. Close the bracket and write squared. Don't forget about the plus a half. So that plus a half is still written there, so that comes down and is still there. And then you look at the number you wrote inside this bracket getting squared, which for us here is 1. Now we would have to square that and take it away. So 1 squared is 1, so I'll need to take away 1. And then I'll close this big bracket. So, got to tidy this part up here. So, big bracket still. We'll deal with that at the end. I've got the x plus 1 all squared. That bit's kind of done. A half is still a half. But this I'm going to write it as minus 2 over 2. Okay, the idea here is I'm looking for a common denominator. So the way to get that is, well, if it's a whole number, you're just going to times it by what you're looking for. So on the bottom, so I times this by 2, and that tells me it should be a 2 on the top, right? 2 over 2, 2 divided by 2 is 1. So that's why I'm replacing this 1 with 2 over 2. Right, and then I'm basically nearly done at this point, because we can tidy this bit up fully in the middle. A half take away 2 halves is minus 1 half, right? 1 take away 2 is minus 1, and the denominator stays the same, so minus a half. And then the very last step is to expand back out. So 2 times this x plus 1 all squared. Now the 2 cannot come into that bracket. The reason is because it's x plus 1 times another x plus 1. 2 doesn't go into both brackets. Okay, that's like saying, for example, I'll take an easier example. I'll just write it up here. If you have 3 times 5, that's obviously 15. If I do 2 times that, I don't get 60. I'm not doubling 3 and doubling 5. I can either do 2 times 3 and get an answer of 6 and do 6 times 5 is 30. Or I can do 2 times 5 is 10 and then do 10 times 3, which again gives me that correct answer of 30. Okay? This 2 here cannot come into this bracket being squared, because what you've really got is 2 lots of x plus 1 lots of x plus 1. So the 2 could come into this bracket and you could write 2x plus 2, but then this is still x plus 1, and it's actually tidier to leave it like this. Okay, this is how you want to write this part. So this is 2 lots of x plus 1 getting squared. Then when I do 2 times a half, and of course it's minus, right? It's minusing that. 2 times a half, you can do this in a variety of ways. If I do 2 times a half, you could write this as 2 over 1 times 1 over 2. 2 times 1 is 2, 1 times 2 is 2, and then you simplify this, you get 1. So when I go back onto Hegarty, I should put in 2 lots of x plus 1 all squared minus 1. So 2 lots of x plus 1 squared minus 1. Right, great. Okay, let's do this one. Okay, so I'm wondering if I maybe want to try, if I actually want to try this one in my head and do a question where the coefficient of x squared isn't 2, just so that you've seen a different number. So I'm actually going to try to just do this one in my head. So it's going to be 2 lots of, so let me put the 2 out the front, and it's going to be x plus half of 16 is 8, and then half of 8 is 4. So it's going to start like that, and then it was minus 3 over 2. Take away 16, which is 32 over 2. Minus 35 over 2, so minus 35 after I double it. Right, this one has a 3. So we'll try this one instead. Okay, so we go through this one in a bit more detail than me just doing it randomly in my head. So I'm going to write equals 3 big brackets, take a 3 out of everything. So divide that by 3, you get x squared. Divide this by 3, you get minus 4x. And divide this by 3 and you get minus a third. Okay, 3 brackets. I guess this is x minus 2 getting squared. Don't forget about the minus a third. And then minus 2, when you square this is 4, so you've got to take away 4. Yeah, it's no matter what goes in here, you're squaring it and taking it away. Right, so minus 2, when you square that, you get positive 4, and then you'll be taking that away, so minus 4. And then there's some tidying up to do. X minus 2 all squared minus a third, and now 4 times 3 is 12, so 4 is really 12 thirds. Right, it's that we're looking for that common denominator again, so that we can do a big tidy. And then okay, 3 lots of, and then we're nearly ready to expand this back out. X minus 2 all squared minus a third, take away another 12 thirds is minus 13 thirds. And then the 3 will multiply this, and we'll just write it at the front. If you don't really... You know what I've just realised? You couldn't see that. Okay, well, I'll do another question. Minus 13, right. Let's try this. Now I need it back. Gosh, that's annoying. 3 lots of x minus 2 minus 13. Right, great. Well, let's see if I can do this one. Right, 10. So this is x plus 1 all squared. So if you're wondering how did I do this? 10, when I divide that by 5 I get 2, and then I'd have to halve that, and that's the number that will go in there. I guess that should really say 5, not 4. Don't know why I wrote 4. And then 2/5. Take away 5/5 is minus 3, so minus 3. Okay. Right, number 5 is the first one where we're really going to have to deal with fractions, so we'll look at this one. And this time I will definitely hide this. My apologies, guys. I'm trying to make this quickly. Right. Okay. Equals. Take a 3 out. So 3, big bracket. X squared minus. Now, What you remember what we were saying? We'd have to divide everything by 3. Well, we can do that even with 5. It's actually not that bad. You write 5/3. And then we can also do it with 2. We can just write 2/3. And of course it was minus 5x, so it's minus 5/3 x, and it was minus 2, so it's minus 2/3. Okay. Open a bracket, write x. And then what's half of minus 5/3? Well, we can either halve the top or we can double the bottom. So I think we'll double the bottom and write minus 5/6. Close the bracket, write squared. Don't forget about the minus 2/3. Right, that still comes down here. And then what's minus 5/6 squared? Well, it's 25 over 36, and I'll have to take that away. So minus 25 over 36. And then close this big bracket. And then this first part's actually sort of done already. The other part will have to do a bit of simplifying, and we'll need to find a common denominator as well. So I'm going to times top and bottom by 12. So this is 24 over 36 minus another 25 over 36. And then what's this? Nearly there. X minus 5/6 squared minus 49 over 36 altogether. Right, because minus 24, take away another 25 is minus 49. And then the 3 multiplies through, it just lives at the front of this thing getting squared. And we have to worry about what is 3 times minus 49 over 36. So okay, if you want to do it the long way, you can do 3 over 1 times 49 over 36, and you can work this out, you can work this out. To make it a little bit easier, what I would do is, I would just say, look, I'm going to be able to divide top and bottom by 3, so that's going to leave me with 1, and that's going to leave me with 12. So I actually just end up with 49 over 12. If you don't see how this works, you can just do 3 times 49 over 36 and then simplify it. Spoiler alert, you will get 49 over 12. And then that's the answer that we should put into Hegarty Math. So let's see if that's right. 3x minus 5/6 getting squared minus 49 twelfths. Right, number 6. Let's see if we can do this one in our heads. So it's going to be a 3 on the outside of something getting squared. And it will be minus 7/6. So let me just say how I did that. I'd have done 7 divided by 3 and then halved it. So that's 7/6. And then that squared is minus 49 over 36. Minus 49, take away 36. It's minus 85 over 36, so minus 85 over 12. What have I done wrong? Let's have a think. Minus 49 over 36. Oh, wait. It's not minus 1. It's minus 1/3. So I want, instead of 85, I just want to write whatever 12 add 49 is, which is 61. Oh, I've got to type the whole thing out again. Gosh, that's annoying, isn't it? Okay, let's do this one. Okay, let's look at this and write it in the normal way that we want. So we put the x squareds first, right? Oh, I've done it again. Should I upload this video? Probably. Oh gosh, that's annoying. 8 minus x plus 2 squared. Did I press it? Right. Okay. Okay. We're going to write this as minus x squared plus 2x plus 3. We're going to take a minus out, so it's minus 1 lots of x squared minus 2x minus 3, because minus times the minus gives the plus, minus times the minus gives the plus, equals minus 1, and then I complete the square. So x minus 1 all squared, don't forget about the minus 3, and then minus 1 squared is 1, so take away 1. And there's not a lot of tidying up to do because there's no fractions. So anyway, this is minus x minus 1 all squared plus 4, which they want it written like this, 4 minus x minus 1 all squared. Right, this thing here, I can just swap it with the plus 4, right? Like, because the sign sticks to what comes after it. So in terms of what I type into Hegarty, I get 4 minus x minus 1 squared. Okay. I hope that was useful. It came in at under 20 minutes. I'm sorry that there were a couple of questions where I literally had it covered. I'll try to edit parts of that out. Or maybe you can just listen to me talk. It doesn't really matter. But one thing I'll say is you must send me an email or ask a question on Teams if you are stuck. Okay? It's not a big deal. I'm encouraging you to get in touch if you're stuck, because this is tricky. This is not easy. This is difficult. Okay? And you should feel really pleased with yourself if you get a good score on this task. But it will not come easy. And you must therefore ask for help if you are stuck. Right. Bye, guys.